King Charles and Queen Camilla didn't let the torrential downpours dampen their spirits as they arrived in Australia on Friday evening as they touched down in Sydney for their 6-day royal tour. The 75-year-old monarch clutched an umbrella as he led the way down the airplane steps in slippy conditions, turning to check his wife was okay as she followed tentatively behind. Reassured that she was fine, he walked on to greet the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia Sam Mostyn and her husband, Simeon Beckett. Just an hour before their plane touched down, the heavens opened, deluging the runway. The heavy downpours only just abated in time for their Majesties' arrival. The couple landed at 8:30 p.m. local time, 10:30 a.m. UK, on an Australian government plane, which they boarded in Singapore after they flew there commercially. Camilla's stunning royal blue silk crepe dress by Fiona Clare was still visible through her clear umbrella, and she wore a sentimental brooch, the Australian wattle brooch, a gift from the Australian people to the late Queen Elizabeth. Before departure, Camilla, 77, made a young boy's wish come true today as he had the honor of gifting a posy to the Queen. Kai, 12, who had a serious bloody condition, was joined by his sister at the end of the welcoming line. The youngster has severe aplastic anemia and his wish to meet the King and Queen was granted by the Make-A-Wish Foundation, a charity that helps fulfill the wishes of seriously ill children. A number of key federal and state representatives also formed the official welcome party at Sydney Airport, including Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and his fiancée Jodie Hayden. Queen Camilla and King Charles then travelled some 17 miles to Admiralty House, where they enjoyed a cup of tea with the Prime Minister and his partner. The lighting up of the iconic Sydney Opera House didn't quite go to plan, however, as the torrential downpours delayed the departure of a Cunard cruise ship docked in the way of the projector. The impressive light display was due to begin at 8 p.m., but it was delayed by over an hour as the cruise ship, called the Queen Elizabeth, blocked the projector until it eventually left the harbour. Projecting the images is estimated to cost up to £50,000 to run until midnight, and comes after proposals to celebrate the King's coronation in the same way was dropped by NSW Premier Mr. Minns, who said it would be too much of a burden on the Australian taxpayer. However, he said the decision to illuminate the landmark to mark the tour was to ensure the King is warmly welcomed. I've made the point previously in relation to the Opera House, when it comes to events that are taking place in Sydney that will be our primary objective, he said. The King is coming to Sydney and we obviously want to make sure he is warmly welcomed and that is what we're going to do. The King and Queen's trip to Australia is their first since the King's accession, and the first of a reigning monarch since 2011, the late Queen Elizabeth II's last visit. Charles's affections for the country run deep, having spent 2 terms at Geelong Grammar School and visiting the country 16 times, both whilst serving in the Royal Navy and on official visits. The tour marks His Majesty's 17th visit to Australia and the Queen's 4th. Camilla also has a long-standing relationship with the country, being Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Australian Corps of Military Police, patron of UK Harvest, connected to Oz Harvest, and patron of Australian charity GIVIT.